Okay, so I'm gonna watch. Let me look at this. There we go. Gonna watch this debate. I've only seen a little bit of both of these people, Wicked Supreme and President Sunday. Uh, President Sunday seems very cringe to me, a lot. But he's pretty much a philosophy guy. At least that's what I've taken from him. I think that's his like big goal is talking about philosophy. Wicked Supreme is a pretty, I would say, a pretty progressive, maybe left leaning, a very left leaning. I think he used to work for like the intelligence agency, or one of the intelligence agencies in the United States government. I'm not exactly sure what his full background is, but I mean, I've heard of him a few conversations with like Booksmarts, Destiny, people like that. I think he was on like Dylan Burns' channel a while ago too when he used to do debates. So yeah, I'd be. Apparently, this is interesting, and I think just looking at it, I watched like the first maybe like minute or two. It seems like their main contention that they're going to be talking about is President Sunday believes that there is no liberal content creator in 2022. That apparently, given by the tweet that he posted, show me a liberal content creator in 2022, and I'll show you a right wing grifter hedging their bets. So, Wicked Supreme's going to come on. He's going to be like, yo, I think I'm a liberal content creator in 2022. I don't think I'm a right wing grifter hedging my bets. So, I think they're going to argue and discuss that. There are some replies down here. I should probably try and find this tweet. I'm curious who else responds because I do see like Dylan Burns is in here, and his response to that is specifically, hey, you're not a liberal, which it's kind of funny that he's telling other people what they do and do not believe in. But it could be the idea that he actually believes that the things that Dylan talks about makes him not a liberal, but like some other left-leaning position. So yeah, let's see what they talk about. I really hope this doesn't come down to just President Sunday saying two things. Kind of what he said to Dylan, where I hope this isn't him being like, actually, Wicked Supreme, you are not a liberal. You are something, you are this. Like the things that you make on here is not liberal content. You make fucking, I don't know, other left leaning content. Or maybe you actually do make right wing content. Maybe he's just going to say you're actually not a liberal. You're just right leaning all the time. So let's see what they talk about.
Okay, show me a liberal content creator in 2022, and I'll show you a right-wing grifter hedging their bets. Well, here I am.
You a liberal?
Sure, I think most people would say that, yeah.
My condolences. What's your objection?
You a liberal? Yeah. It's already cringe. It's already cringe.
Show me that I'm a right-wing grifter hedging my bets.
We just went over earlier, your concern with the Rittenhouse thing is your primary interest was in the protection of the property and in the protection of the gun.
Okay, so he's coming up first with talking about property, the Rittenhouse thing, which that was when there's a bunch of protests going on in, I think it was Kenosha, and that was that guy shot someone that was like coming after him. That was a huge dispute. At the end of the day, it was ruled that he was rightfully okay with shooting people because he was acting in self-defense. That's pretty much what it came down to. That's the long and short end of it.
You brought a gun to a protest when they were protesting police brutality against black people. That's one obvious example. I think, moreover, though, the general issue is that when you adopt...
Hold on, we're not going to glide past that.
Yeah, we are. I think the main issue, though, is that when you adopt...
It doesn't serve you to examine that more closely? Is that why?
Not particularly, no. So just
no, it doesn't serve. You wanted to bring it up, but now that you've decided that it doesn't serve you to examine that more closely, you're just hoping to sneak that in and people examine it uncritically and accept what you say about it is true.
Well, you can ignore it if that suits you. So the main issue with...
Wait, he's not ignoring it.
I want to talk about it.
I really...
This is what I mean. So again, I've only watched President Sunday like maybe one or two times, but he does this all the time. He just acts very smug and very cringe all the time. I just hate it. Ugh. Like just have a... I don't know why people can't just have a nice, normal conversation.
I'm so sorry for you, but you will. So unfortunately, the issue with the centrist stance is that when you're dealing between two sides, one of which is critical of the fixed structures in a society, and one of which is fetishizing them and identifying itself as a fixture by that fetishization. When you adopt a stance that treats them both as equally fixed, you are adopting a stance that is solely the purview and the advantage of the one, and completely elides the actual stance of the other. So in effect, you're just really a padded out right-winger in the end.
Wait.
So liberals are all right-wingers? Is that the...
And completely alive. itself as a fixed.
What's
You're
this?
dealing between two sides, one of which is critical of the fixed structures in a society, and
Okay.
one of which is fetishizing them and identifying itself as a fixture by that fetishization. When you adopt a stance that treats them both as equally fixed, you are adopting a stance that is solely the purview and the advantage of the one, and completely elides the actual stance of the other.
Okay,
So
I'll be
in effect,
honest.
you're just really a padded out right winger in the end.
I'm so lost with what he just said.
So liberals are all right wingers. Is that the idea?
Oh, in present day, absolutely. There was a time when they weren't. There was a time when the liberal move was itself revolution.
So I guess I don't know. So it's gonna come down to probably a fucking dumbass definition game where. Coming out some dumbass definition game where it's like, actually, you're not truly liberal because you believe this, which could be fine if he actually said, like, say he's saying I'm a liberal, but he's like full on like have all these conservative values, but he has to demonstrate that. He has to show like, hey, you said this and this. These are liberal, or these are right-leaning ideas specifically, and most of the content that you cover is right-leaning. Just because you say maybe you have like one or two right-leaning beliefs, but the majority of your content is centered around left-leaning ideology, doesn't mean you're right-wing. Like, that's insane.
And actually did result in a radical change in the structure of society. But at this juncture, we're in a thoroughly liberalized world. Every state is a liberal state in form, if not in substance.
So why didn't your tweet read all liberals are right wingers?
Huh?
Why didn't your tweet just read that liberal is a right wing ideology, liberalism is right wing, or something like that?
Yeah, I guess that's a good question. I'm trying to think. The only way that I say he could go around that is just being like, I am kind of alluding to that there is no actual liberal content creator, but he would actually, but now he's talking about content creators. He would just say that there are no liberals. Yeah, he should just say there are no liberals. So that's what he believes, that the liberal ideology doesn't actually exist, and if you call yourself liberal, you are you are more right leaning. Not that you are not just liberal content creators.
If that was your claim, then your claim was like,
well, that would
really
that would be under the umbrella. I mean, the tweet that I made would be under that umbrella. No.
You're right, but that's you're right. That tweet would be under. If you believe all liberals are actually right-leaning, then that means anyone who is a liberal content creator, which is under the umbrella of being a liberal, would also be a right-winger. Sure, that is correct, but you would not derive the underneath the umbrella up to the top of the umbrella. Just because there are some sections of people under the liberal umbrella that are right-wingers doesn't mean, just because you call out one of them doesn't mean the whole umbrella is a right wing. What are you talking about?
Well, that's not what the tweet says.
I specify liberal content creators. Those would presumably also be liberals, right?
Okay, well, if all liberals are right wing, then none of us are grifters if we're also right wing.
Well, I specify content creators because content creators who are liberal in this day and age are generally grifters.
Well,
like,
how are we
let's play a little experiment here. Okay, so we went over your video on why you're not left on the left just a few minutes ago, and you considered it to be the role of a content creator to really explore ideas and to really like challenge our thoughts about stuff and you know like to interrogate like these really nuanced and complex issues. So I wonder if you'll indulge me and play a little game for a second.
Okay.
Just give me a second. So what I'm going to need you to do is cover your eyes. Cover them completely so you can't see a thing.
Oh my god, what is happening? He's memeing him. He's memeing him.
Was that it? Was that the whole thing?
No, just wait for it. Just wait for it. You're peeking. I can see the cracks. See all those fingers.
Cringe. This is what I mean. This is cringe.
Yeah, well, your eyes aren't covered anymore. I'm watching you.
Okay.
This is cringe. Okay, Deuce.
It's a bit of a lag. I'm just waiting for it.
Oh my god! I'm gonna explode.
Who wrote Anti-Oedipus?
Anti-Oedipus?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Who wrote The Second Sex?
I've never heard of that book.
Who wrote The 18th Romeo of Louis Bonaparte?
I have no idea.
Who wrote What Is to Be Done?
I don't know.
So he fucking close your eyes. I don't want you fucking googling this shit. He could have watched him. He could have been able to tell whether or not he fucking typed it up. But he's just being honest. He doesn't know who wrote these books. Who cares? I don't know any of these books either.
Wrote Discourse on the Origins of Inequality. There's only 3 more, I promise.
I don't know. That one sounds familiar.
Good. Who wrote The Doctrine of Fascism?
That's not the 17 point or whatever. How many points?
No,
14
no.
points guy.
Who,
Right
who
now.
wrote who wrote A Theory of Justice?
No idea.
Who wrote The Origins of Totalitarianism?
I have no idea.
Who wrote The Subjection of Women?
I don't know.
He said
Okay,
3
so
more.
you're not interested
I was
in
like,
ideas, dude. This stuff has all been.
oh, oh. Okay. You're right. I haven't read the books that you've read. Therefore, you, sir, are not into ideas.
Publicly accessible for decades and decades and decades and decades.
Well, hang on. Let me read out a list of books and ask you if you've read them.
Well, no. These aren't just books, my friend.
No. What do you mean? Okay. To be fair, President Sunday doesn't said that he's doing this either. He hasn't said that. What's it called? That he's interested in ideas. Technically, he could also be a grifter. I mean, he has not said that he's into these ideas, so maybe he hasn't read the books either, but he hasn't claimed to be. Maybe that's what he's upset about. Maybe he's upset because WickedSupreme claims to be this idea thinker, but he doesn't think that he is.
These are like
your books
texts.
are the true books.
My dude, if you tell anyone who knows anything that you do not know the author of even 80% of these books, they're not going to take you
Wait,
seriously.
is this your thesis? Was just this purity test? This like pissing?
No, I just want to make it. I just want it to be.
You haven't read the books that I've read.
No, I actually haven't read most of.
You're not interested in exploring ideas. You haven't
read
these
them.
books.
No, I actually haven't read most of these books.
Oh, he's gonna say what
make it abundantly clear.
You don't know who wrote the books.
You are so disinterested in ideas that you weren't even aware of them in advance. So if you try to pull some marketplace,
How is he so interested in those ideas? Maybe he wants to know the ideas of regular people that he wants to talk to. Maybe that's the ideas he wants to get more out of. Because the average person isn't going to know any of those fucking books either. But they all have ideas. They all have ideas of how they think the government should be run.
ideas bullshit. I know you're full of it.
What are you talking about? Marketplace of ideas bullshit. Does participating, even if I use that like Dave Rubin rhetoric, does participating in a marketplace of ideas require you to know the authors of those specific books?
It would be the evidence that one takes an interest in any of these issues is that one is even loosely aware of the most major players in any of these domains, and you're just not. So you're out of your depth here.
Which
we can't
You're out of your depth.
Have a discussion because all you have is the Chud logic shtick.
Oh wait,
Is this like
I thought it was gonna.
Is this the like you don't know theory bro thing or what?
Fuck me.
You don't know anything.
It's
That's
impossible.
the major issue. You don't know anything.
What do you mean you don't know anything?
So, because I don't know the author of those books, we can't have any substantive discussion about anything. Like I've never examined anything. Is that your idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
What? I don't understand. What does he mean by that? How could he possibly believe that just because you haven't read a certain number of books means that you cannot possibly have any idea that is meaningful or valuable?
I mean, why don't we put it to the test?
Okay. What are we putting to the test?
There we go.
Sure. What idea would you like to talk about?
Nothing. You don't know anything.
Well, I assumed you had an actual objection to the statement, but it seems to me.
Okay.
You really don't, and you don't even understand it.
What do you mean? His objection is that he is not a right-wing grifter, just pretending to be a liberal. Oh, sorry. Not just a liberal content creator. We're under the umbrella of liberal.
Because I don't know the author of some books?
No, that's adjacent. That's evidence in favor of.
Hey, I'm willing to put it to the test. Are you willing to or not?
That's evidence in favor of an explanation.
Is that a no from you?
You don't understand anything.
Is that a no?
I don't even know what I'm saying no. I don't even know what I'm saying no to.
I'm asking you. You can pick a topic. If you want to talk about a topic, I'm happy to explore the topic with you. I'm happy to, like entertain any ideas that you have and go back and forth about it.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Yeah, Rings of Power is pretty good. Your thoughts?
Is that a topic?
I think that sounds like a hell of an interesting topic to me. I was actually pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be trash. I saw The Wheel of Time. Awful film.
What I mean, I just can't.
Awful series. Never got past the first episode. Rings of Power is gripping.
Hey, you want to talk about movies? Is that what you want to talk about?
Yeah.
This is so weak. I'm so disappointed. I mean, I guess I gotta be honest. I didn't have high expectations. I wanted to say,
okay, now
the whole point of this, right? I'll show you a right-wing grifter hedging their bets. What? Can you give me your definition of a grifter?
Someone who's
it has to be someone who's only doing it. Well, not only. Someone who's primarily like hiding their true beliefs and saying different set of beliefs for like monetary gain. That's what I consider a grifter, at least.
For money and attention and things superfluous to, actually knowledge, understanding, actual political causes, yada, yada, yada.
Someone who's in what?
Anything.
Someone who's
at
in
all.
anything for money and attention is a grifter?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. If I truly believe something, and I also like, and I think I can use my belief to like gain some kind of fame or notoriety or money, this doesn't make me a grifter if I truly believe it. I think the main thing has to be that you don't truly believe what you're saying. Like, you're putting out information that you know to either be false or that you don't truly believe. I think that's necessary to be a grifter.
So
especially if you're doing like something
like every actor is a grifter.
Posturing.
Every politician is a grifter.
I mean, it's a grift. I wouldn't necessarily say
every
it's a scam.
activist is a grifter.
No one said scam. I don't know why you're saying scam all of a sudden.
Activists aren't all in it for the money. A lot of activists do what they do at personal cost, at personal risk.
Would you say that it's wrong for anybody to expect compensation for anything that they do,
Of
or
course
that it
not.
makes them a grifter?
Of course not, but I do have an issue with people expecting compensation for doing something that they aren't doing but are merely pretending to do. You don't think, dude. You don't read. You don't know anything.
God, you don't
Just
read.
I've read some stuff. If you really want to know, I've read some Durkheim. I've read some Du Bois. I've read some of the classic sociologists. I've read some de Tocqueville. I've read some Aristotle. I've read some Plato. I've read people like, I don't want to start this pissing match of, haha, who have you read? Well, I've read these people, because it's not substantive. There's no substance to it whatsoever. We can have
Here.
pissing
No.
contest if you really want, but I don't think it amounts to anything.
Dude, if it makes you feel any better.
I fear for anybody who sees that pissing contest conducted and thinks that there's anything substantial to it.
If it makes you feel any better, I haven't read Anti-Oedipus. I haven't read The Second Sex. I've read the Premier like years and years ago. I haven't read What Is to Be Done.
But
I haven't read The Doctrine
authors
of Fascism.
or what?
I haven't read The Theory of Justice. I haven't read The Subjection of Women.
Okay.
But I know of them because I've taken an interest in what people have actually said about these things, because I actually do care about ideas. You don't, because you only care about ideas.
No, it's going to do it, isn't it?
Happen to be
It's not going to play it twice. I did it again. I've done this before.
That's not true. No, that's not true. I'm
Fucking
a full-time
knew it.
student, and
So
like
stupid.
part of the course I've taken has me reading some like contemporary literature and some classical literature as well, in terms of philosophy. Most recently, like a bunch of economists and stuff. I've had to read some Milton Friedman, some Thomas. I've had to read other economists. Who's the guy? The World is Flat. I can't remember that guy's name. But whatever. I've had to like read a bunch of this stuff recently, and I'm not sure even the era of the literature that you've listed, and I'm not sure that it's relevant if like people have built on those ideas. And hell, I've fucking actually read some Marx, and like people who built on those ideas. And like the lesson that I would carry forward, reading some of these authors chronologically, is that like you really only need to read some like the most recent authors if you're like super interested in these details. So like I said, if you want to talk about some details, I've read some behavioral psychology from over the past 10 years. I've read some, behavioral economy. I've read some Evo Psych from over the past 10 years. If you want to talk about these topics, I can tell you what I've read. If you think it's useful or beneficial in any way to gauge or to try to pre-crime the fucking winner of some intellectual pissing contest over knowing the authors of which books by the year they were written or something like that, I really fear for your audience that thinks that that's like a way to conduct anything, or that lends any credence to your claim, which is show me a liberal content creator in 2022 and I'll show you a right-wing grifter hedging their bets. Now, if you're coming into this saying, oh, my definition of a liberal is that they're definitionally right-wing, congratulations, you've made a completely tautological and vacuous claim that nobody should care about, and it's not the claim that you were making. You're also making the claim that anybody doing this is a right-wing grifter. The idea, I think most people would understand a grifter to be somebody who holds a set of positions publicly that they don't agree with privately, and that they're spreading them disingenuous, and they're not spreading the right ideas because they have some ulterior motives to spread a different set of ideas and get people to agree with those instead. Somebody like Dave Rubin or like Tim Pool, who are people that certainly possess the ability, the capability of a rigorous acumen of journalism, but choose not to exercise it in ways that are really obvious in order to lend credence to a set of political ideals that they actually agree with, while maintaining, the semblance of being a liberal or something like that.
Yep.
That seems like that's the accusation there. Now, if you're just saying a grifter is anybody who does anything for money and attention, then and that liberals are all automatically right wing, then you've basically just said, I think liberals are all right wingers, and anybody who does anything for money or attention is a grifter. You've just included basically fucking like 90% of the planet. I don't know what to say. That's not a strong claim.
Creators, but a content creator who's a grifter would be one who says stuff that they don't believe because they haven't.
Okay, show me. You said you could show me. So show me what I don't believe.
I don't know what you don't believe because I've gone through one of your videos talking about why you're not on the left and it took you all of 19 minutes to get to here's a color gradient.
Yeah, the whole video. Can you summarize that video for me?
I should watch that video.
No.
Okay, well, you should probably fucking watch it first instead of telling me what the title of it is. Okay, well, I don't know, you're supposed to be the scholar, right? You're the academic. That's what it says in your Twitter. You should be able to summarize a 19-minute, YouTube video.
Says I'm a political scientist. Okay, well, if I was pressed.
Well, I can pull up a tweet that says that you're an academic. You have it in parentheses.
No, it's political scientist.
We academics must remember that the ability to sit and write about reality is quoting Karen Stowe.
I see.
Oh, I see. You're talking about the part where I called myself an academic. I see. Where I put myself under the umbrella of academia. I see. Good.
That's a quote from a book. She's addressing academics. I'm not calling myself an academic.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Yeah, we cleaned it up. Oh, he's an academic.
Okay, so you do qualify yourself as an academic.
An academic just means you take an interest in academic matters, and that's your primary vocation. It doesn't mean that. I'm not sure what you think.
Okay, do you qualify yourself as an academic, yes or no?
In terms that my primary vocation is academic pursuits, yes.
Okay, cool. So you qualify yourself as an academic. You can't tell me the summary of a video. You can tell me the title of it, which actually doesn't even really reflect the content of the video.
I was about to. In fact, if you rewind the stream...
I asked you if you could, you said no.
Currently.
Big no. Ooh, a chest.
No, but if absolutely pressed, what I gathered from this is that you believe there is room for interpreting different policies as potentially occupying a gray state between right and left. And then we had a long diversion looking at some guys laughing at Sneeko, something about Rittenhouse, and then you just kind of said something about how it's hard to know stuff, but get to it, and then it closed out. There was really not a lot there.
Well, it sounds like you put a lot of effort in understanding this, which I think was a really simple concept.
I'm confessing, I pre-watched it in advance of watching it today again on stream, so...
Sure.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, the whole point of that video is that, like, holding a position on anything, and I used abortion and Kyle Rittenhouse as two sort of hallmark examples of this. You can have a position, you can have any position that can include any number of nuances on those pretty complex topics. I think they're pretty complex issues. You know, Rittenhouse being one that you wanted to escape by earlier, and that you said that you were happy escaping from and weren't willing to examine again, which isn't surprising.
Not particularly. I just wanted to get to a more interesting point. We can talk about Rittenhouse.
Well, that's not why. You wanted to drop it because it's rhetorically and optically strong, and you think that people on your side are going to go, yeah, he supports Rittenhouse, and that's liberalism or something like that. I'd love to examine that with you.
No, we already heard you say that you support Rittenhouse. You think that's totally defensible. The reason why I wanted to skirt by it is because I had an additional point that I wanted to make that we would spend.
Yeah, and I would love to discuss. I would love to discuss the Rittenhouse situation with you. You don't seem particularly brave to do so, unfortunately. But you know,
I've invited you to just now.
I'm sorry.
I've invited you to just now.
Okay, we can, but that has to take a backseat to the other topics that we've talked about since then.
Oh, now it has to take a backseat.
Okay, we can talk about Rittenhouse right now if you want to.
Okay, please do it.
Okay, listen. If somebody set your neighbor's house on fire and they said, "Can you help me come and defend it?" Do you think it's morally wrong to do so?
Carlot Rittenhouse was defending.
Hey, can you answer my question?
I'm asking you a clarifying question. Was the
Wait, no, that's not. We're not talking about this. We're trying to get a framework of where you believe, and when we're talking about, because the big argument that he brought up about Rittenhouse was the idea of defending property. So now we're going to take a more broad understanding or more broad example so that we can be like, okay, well, can we see in this? And then we can try and like fix onto that example to see if it fits onto Kyle Rittenhouse. That's what we should do. That way we can at least make sure we come from the same standpoint. Because if you believe that in this scenario that he just gave, this example, well, then there's nowhere to go. And then we can argue on that example, and then we can try and get to Rittenhouse. And not only that, it's more the idea that people are so fucking, when you give very direct, like, what's it called? Real life examples. People fixate on that specific thing so much they can't just like devoid themselves from it. So like you give them a very specific case of like, say the Rittenhouse or anything drastic, like if you're talking about like an abuse case or someone that was assaulted, if you're talking about a very specific case that already happened, people are already like very emotionally tied to that specific thing. So they're not going to be able to think, at least when I talk to people, it feels that way. They're not able to talk normally about it, which is why as soon as I bring up a broad example, they're instantly talking about, let's talk about this specific case again, because I want to talk about this one specifically that I'm emotionally invested in. It's like, come on, dude, just we want to talk about the idea first, and then we can talk about the like specific example, the specific actual real life thing.
Car lot Rittenhouse was defending on fire.
It was the previous night. They lost half their assets and they were calling for help.
They were calling for help.
Yeah, they called for help for people to come and defend from further damage.
They called Rittenhouse to come in with a gun and to stand in front of the building and to shoot people if they approached the building.
Rittenhouse and his crew maintained that there was an open call for help that these people made.
Oh, good for them.
Mm-hmm.
I guess fuck human life then, right?
Well,
we gotta.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand. I feel like actually I don't know what this guy believes in for like if hold on. I'm fucked here. No, I'm not. I'm good. Put that there. Okay, yeah, we're good. Whenever you play a skill, gains 2 strength. This is a skill, right? Gains 2 strength. That'll be 6. Yeah, it's not. Wait, is that worth? Gains 2 strength. Is that worth? It'll be at 6 and it'll be at 8. He'll do 3 damage instead of 4. Yeah, that's worth. Yeah. Okay. It's a lot of damage. He's doing a lot of damage. I need to just attack the shit out of him. Fuck, I'm fucked. Wait, no, I'm fine. Yeah, we're good. Fuck, I'm blanking on what you just said.
His crew maintained that there was an open call for help that these people made.
Oh, good for them.
Mm-hmm.
I guess fuck human life then, right?
Yeah, so this idea is like, oh, so these people asked for help for protecting their stuff, so I guess fuck all human life. It's like, I mean, there are probably some human lives you would say fuck to if they're destroying your house. I don't understand. There's no way. Maybe he is. Maybe he is this guy. I talked to someone the other day about this. Maybe he is the guy that's like, if someone's breaking into his house and like destroying everything, he would just let them do it. And if the only way to stop him was to kill him, he wouldn't. Maybe he is that guy. I don't think that's a very good ideology to have. But I mean, if that's how you want to live your life, that's fine. But yeah, like there are times when people do throw away their lives or their right to life. At that point, in my mind, I think you can throw that away when you infringe on other people.
Well,
we gotta save the car lot.
There are certainly certain situations where people have the agency to choose for themselves. Wait, actually, we can go more fundamental than this. If somebody is approaching you and they want to do damage to you or your property, if they want to burn down your house,
okay, we should. I don't know if he has to go back as far to like the, I guess, obvious, but I know the way President Sunday's talking, maybe you do have to go very obvious. He shouldn't include the property. He should stick on someone's come threatening you. Can you kill them? Okay, now they're threatening your property, and then we can talk about specific types of property to see like, can we ever get him to budge on an idea where there's any property where you deserve to defend to the death?
Inside your house, do you think that you have the right?
The house thing is the big thing, because just taking property when you're not in your house, I think, is a little bit iffier. But as soon as someone steps into your house with an intent that you do not know, without your permission, while you're in there, that's fucked. I believe that person has thrown away their any like moral consideration towards their life. They have shown that they don't care about my life because they are infringing on my property in a place where I'm supposed to feel like safe and away from the public. And they said, "Hey, fuck you. I don't care how you feel. I'm coming into your house, and you have no idea what I'm going to do to you when I'm in here." That's bullshit. You're out. You're out. No more moral consideration for you.
To hold a gun and say, if you make another step to try to burn down my house or if you light my house on fire, I'm posing a credible threat to your life. Do you think that that's morally wrong?
I don't think I have the right, therefore, from that logic, to traverse states with a gun that I'm not.
This is what I mean. They never. Okay, well, I guess I can understand from other people's perspectives this idea, like, if he feels like if he gives in here, he's giving into the whole argument, and then he thinks he lost. That's probably the feeling he gets. But he doesn't have to do that. You can just have a regular conversation, dude. It's not winning or losing.
Hold on.
Allowed to carry. No, not hold on.
No, you want to escape from this.
Yeah. When you escape from it, you're not.
He's supposed to be an academic. He's supposed to be a guy who cares about this stuff, and he acts like a child.
Scary, whatever the fuck your name is.
Bro,
it's not.
You sound like you're gonna piss yourself. Are you okay?
Oh my god. Okay. I mean, I can understand these jabs as well, but now I'm upset because I don't think we're gonna get anywhere. I feel like there's gonna be no conversation.
Jesus Christ, are you okay?
Is this like a parody? What am I engaging with here exactly?
Okay. Like I said, I would love to examine this with you, but you don't seem particularly brave to do so. You seem really scared to examine this like in a granular way, which is surprising for a self-acclaimed academic.
I mean, you say that, but you can't brook a single clarifying question. That now suddenly requires like, no, you answer the question as I phrase it now.
I want to know. I want to ask questions about your values so that I can understand your values. I would be surprised if we didn't agree.
I don't think you can.
What?
And
you
moreover,
I don't believe you. Ask questions about your values?
I don't believe you when you say you want to.
What? You don't believe
you.
You just think
no. I think you're an extremely incurious person who's just happy to be here, who just really wants to be seen. I think
what?
Okay, I asked you a question. This is you running from it. This is sidestepping to try to just insult me or something like that. This is actually you know how people say this is an ad hom, that's an ad hom? I think people misuse that term. Can you give me the definition of an ad hominem? Argument ad hominem?
An argument ad hominem is when you insult the person instead of addressing the argument and use that as the substance of a counter argument.
No, not necessarily that you insult the person.
Yes, necessarily. That's exactly what it means.
It's that you ruin
the credibility. It literally means
credibility.
against a man.
No,
it literally means against a man.
That's fine that it means that. It's about ruining the credibility.
You asked me what it means.
But you're missing something critical, which is that you're.
I don't have to attack the credibility of someone who doesn't have any.
That's what argument ad hominem is. I don't need to listen to your arguments because you are not credible.
You're mistaken. An argument ad hominem is not when you attack the credibility of someone. It's when that's the substance of an argument against an argument that doesn't rely on their credibility. You're out of your depth.
That's not what it is.
That is very true. I challenge your audience to Google it.
Okay, we'll do it live.
Wait, he's gonna do it? Okay, well if he's gonna do it, we'll just wait.
Go for it.
I've always thought ad hom to be like where you are attacking someone on like them as a person, but the goal is to ruin their credibility. At the end of the day, the reason you're doing an ad hom is because you're trying to ruin the credibility of the person. It's just that most often than not, you're using something that has nothing to do with the argument and just attacking the person. So this would be something along the idea of like really dumb example. I don't know why it comes to my mind, but like if I was having a debate with someone and then I know that we're like, he's a big sports guy or some of the shit, and I say, you're gonna believe this guy fucking roots for the Packers or some shit. That's like what comes to mind of like if I know that my audience is like super anti-Packer and it's gonna ruin his credibility because he's like a Packers fan for some reason, that would be like an ad hom. Like I'm attacking him for something that has nothing to do with the arguments and has to do more about him as a person or like something that he feels. So that's my understanding of an ad hom. But the main goal is to discredit them. Wikipedia. Yeah, let's check what Wiki says.
Typically, this term refers to a rhetorical strategy where the speaker attacks the character, motive, or some other attribute of the person making an argument rather than addressing the substance of the argument itself. The most common form of ad hominem.
Or motive. The fact that it adds motive there means that it's not about the individual person. Well, I mean, it is about the individual person, but it's not like a... I should listen to what President Sunday said again about it.
Hominem is A makes claim X, B asserts that A holds the property is unwelcome, and hence B concludes that the argument X is wrong. Fallacious ad hominem reasoning occurs that the validity of an argument is not based on deduction or syllogism, but on an attribute of the person putting it forward. Okay, any contentions? Or
nope.
Do you want to edit the Wikipedia or anything like that? Or is this whoever made this article, are they in error?
Wrong.
Do you have a better idea?
No, I think they're completely right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. How is that any different than what you've just done now? I've asked you a question about your values, and now you're just saying, I just don't think you have any credibility, and that's why I don't want to answer it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But that's not an ad hominem because that's not an argument. I'm telling you I'm not interested in that discussion.
Well, that is your argument. You're presenting
what's
a counter
my
argument.
argument?
Okay, your argument.
What's the counter argument, and what is the counter?
I'm pretty sure he's just arguing, hey, I can't have this talk with you just because you have no credibility. I'm not going to say why you have no credibility. You just have no credibility. It has nothing to do with the argument you're making. It has nothing to do with any of this. It's the fact you have no credibility.
Your argument is that you do not want to answer the question because you don't think that I'm asking it credibly. Well, and I would even say,
no,
even if you don't think I believe, even if
you made an additional statement about wanting to understand.
Okay, I don't want to waste any time. I don't want to waste time on this shit. The point is, even if you thought that I was asking this question in bad faith, why wouldn't you still want to answer it?
Which question?
The question about your values, about whether or not you have the right to present a credible, like lethal threat to somebody who intends harm to you and your livelihood.
It wasn't Rittenhouse's livelihood.
I'm not asking about Rittenhouse right now. I'm trying to figure out your values.
I think when you're operating in a space in which your life is in danger, rights don't particularly have any substance anymore. What are you going to tell the person? Die, lose your stuff? That's about it.
Wait, what?
Okay. Do you want to answer the question?
Which one?
Okay. If somebody is posing a credible threat to you and your livelihood or your property or your abode or something like that, do you think that you have the right to present a lethal threat?
I don't think that's an answer that bears a yes or a no. I think in that particular space, rights
what
is a
weasel!
subject.
Man up and just fucking answer it.
Rights as a concept don't have any application.
God. Okay,
Rights
do you
as a
think
concept don't have an
it's
application in
morally
that
wrong?
scenario.
Do you think it's morally wrong to present a credible threat of lethal force to somebody who's trying to burn down your livelihood?
Do I think Jesus objects to it? No.
Do you think Jesus objects to it? What are you talking about? Why is he bringing up Jesus? We're not, unless, okay, to be fair, maybe he's religious. Maybe he is very religious. And so from his moral standpoint, what the Bible says and what Jesus says is what's moral. So therefore he's saying that. Maybe that's why. So let's just go back just 20 seconds.
No, I think in that particular space, rights
What a
is a
weasel!
subject.
Man up and.
Hold on. Let's just go back all the way.
That's about it.
Okay. Do you want to answer the question?
Which one?
Okay. If somebody is posing a credible threat to you and your livelihood or your property or your abode or something like that, do you think that you have the right to present a lethal threat?
I don't think that's an answer that bears a yes or a no. I think in that particular space, rights
what
is
a
a
weasel!
subject.
Man up and just fucking answer it.
Rights as a concept don't have any application.
God. Okay,
Rights
do you
as a
think
concept don't have an
it's
application in
morally
that
wrong?
scenario.
Do you think it's morally wrong to present a credible threat of lethal force to somebody who's trying to burn down your livelihood?
Do I think Jesus objects to it? No. What are you asking when you ask? Do I think?
Do you just not believe in
have
ethics?
a moral right?
Yeah, okay. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't believe in any morals.
No, I do believe in ethics. Just the difference is that I understand how ethics works, and you think that ethics just means here are magical rules that you have to follow where you get the red mark.
Okay, so are you powerless to say that something is good or bad, or that you ever have the moral license to do anything?
In a context in which the scaffolding for an ethical system is absent, absolutely, categorically. That's the reason why we need to have like a political system in place that actually enshrines ethics.
So you're just completely powerless when offered a hypothetical to answer it and say, yes, this is good, or no, this is bad.
I mean, so are you. The difference is you don't know anything.
No,
so
I'm not. I'm happy to stake a position.
I know you're happy. Ignorance is bliss.
I'm not powerless to do that. I'm not happy to just sit on my hands and say, well, you never know. And fucking
you are sitting on your hands this very moment.
That's not true. I've got one hand on my mouse, my push the talk button, and the other one's up here, gyrating. Okay, I don't know. Like, listen, do we want to actually have a conversation? You actually seem super scared to ever stake out any positions.
No,
you want to divert from every topic that comes up.
I don't want to talk to you. You're boring. I really don't want to talk to you.
Okay, listen. You said you would eat me alive.
You're boring.
I feel particularly unmunched at the moment.
Boring.
I don't know what to say. Like, you are the one that threatened to have a conversation with me. I set up the time and place.
When the teeth are sharp enough, you don't feel them as much.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
I'm led to believe that you're actually a pretty smart guy and that you're capable of like making video essays about, academic topics, and you're able to explore them and like provide something, really valuable on YouTube. I'm led to believe this, and I have no reason to believe that this is not true. I shouldn't say I have no reason, but I actually think that this is probably true. But lately you've been... I'm sorry?
What's the reason? Just curious.
The reason is that you've been going around attacking people and acting like an ass.
Really? Who have I been attacking?
I don't know, like fucking Chud Logic. Your first conversation with Destiny was horrible.
You recall why I was attacking Chud Logic?
I do. But even if I agreed with you...
What was the reason? Enlighten me. I forgot.
The reason was you were upset over DK's conduct, and you thought that it was ChudLogic's responsibility.
What was his conduct?
DK's conduct. I couldn't tell you exactly what his conduct is.
I can.
But that's good for you.
Okay, I think so. I just kind of saw this in the background. I think President Sunday had a problem with one of what's his name? ChudLogic's mods. Apparently, he was acting like really weird. I don't know enough about it because I don't watch ChudLogic or anything like that. For the most part, I don't watch him. But apparently, his mod was really fucked. Trud said that he worked in the background with the people that were involved with who DK, his mod, was like acting towards. And then President Sunday got really fucking mad for some reason about it. It seems like he feels like Trud should have done more about it. And then he yelled and fucking like rage quit the conversation. So that's my understanding how that went. I probably should go. I don't think I have anything that actually gives me more. Man, I don't have any more miracles. Oh wait, but I'll end my. That's right. Yeah, we're good. So yeah, so that's my understanding, and he's pretty just fucking crazy when he was talking to ChudLogic there. But so Chud was very aggressive as well, to be fair.
We don't need to talk about it because I probably agree with you that it was really bad.
DK is an employee of ChudLogic, and he threatened his staff with doxing and harassment. He also faked DMs to make Ryzen look like a pedophile, to make me look like I was threatening violence against him.
Sure, but then you went on
him and disparaged the people he attacked.
Yeah, but instead of representing your point, well, you just went on and started screaming, and then you left.
Yes, because I counted him as a friend, and I was betrayed. People get angry when they have any sort of moral sense whatsoever.
No, not necessarily. I don't want to litigate this drama with you. The point is that you're going around acting like an ass in these conversations. I'm sorry?
I said you brought it up, not me.
Yeah, I did bring it up because I think it's relevant.
Oh, well, then we can talk about it. Is it relevant or not? You gotta pick one, man.
I said that it was relevant.
You gotta pick one, my man.
It doesn't mean I want to litigate every detail of it because I might even agree with you. I might even agree with your overall premise. I might even agree with maybe some of the ways that you handled it.
We're not gonna find out if you're not willing to litigate any of this. I think, in fact, what's the destiny point then? Like,
this is you doing it, by the way. This is you wanting to like confound and distract. I'm literally just granting that I agree with you right now. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what the details are. Let's just say I agree with you.
Agree with what?
About the steps ChudLogic should have taken given DK's demeanor or given his behavior.
Okay.
Even if let's just grant that I agree with you on that. Why do we need to argue about it now? Right?
I don't know why we're even discussing this. I don't care if you.
The reason we're discussing it is because, like I said, I think you may have something valuable to offer in terms of content creation. But lately, I've been witnessing a trend of you like assailing people and then like going. Actually, the first time
I'm assailing people now.
Sure, absolutely.
Ooh,
absolutely.
You're making all these videos that are like drama baiting, and you're trying to criticize people in a way that's
What do you mean drama baiting? They're criticizing ChudLogic for precisely what we talked about. You're granting in this hypothetical that you agree with me. He's made about twice as much content on that.
Sure, yeah, he's assailing you too. It's kind of his thing. That's expected, right? However, ChudLogic stands to gain from it. He's like, it typically serves him to do this, but I don't think it serves you because of your behavior. Because of ChudLogic's behavior.
That actually bears in favor of my honesty as opposed to him. I don't have extrinsic benefits to gain.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
Listen,
I'm doing it for the reason that I say.
I think you have a lot to lose, and I think if your goal is to be convincing,
I haven't lost anything yet. I'm sitting.
I think you're losing more than you recognize, or more than you realize.
What am I losing?
I think you're exposing yourself as like a fucking, blowhard asshole to a bunch of people that may have been interested in your content otherwise, and now you're a lol cow, dude.
You do appear like that.
Among who?
My
it's
audience,
almost
universal.
My audience remains stable. In fact,
how big is your audience?
It's bigger than yours.
Sure, oh my god! Like this is what I mean. This is what he means.
Sure. How big is it?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Why don't you just answer the question for once?
I don't know. I'm actually wondering. I'm not entirely sure how to
rigid intellectual. Can you just answer something for once?
I've got 177 viewers right now. I've got 6 point. Bear with me a sec.
You said it hasn't impacted the size of my audience. That implies that you know what the regular size of that audience is, and in order to be able to compare right now to before, right?
No, it implies that I have recognized that it hasn't shrunk.
Yeah, so you have to be able to know what the size is now and be able to compare it to a previous point in time.
Yeah, but I was giving you an actual figure.
My God.
Your question. So in answer to your question,
He's doing the thing.
6.59K subs right now, and I have 177 viewers currently at the moment.
Sure. And how many people have you been exposed to?
Well, I suppose that many, definitely. I've got a good rapport with Demon Mama, which I hadn't had for a very long time prior to this.
There you go.
I've got good relationships with Kevin Logan, Ico,
Kevin Logan.
I've talked to St. Andrews, and I'll talk to them again. I mean, a few people. Noah Samson, I don't know where I stand with him, but we talk occasionally. Vosh I'm on good terms with. Yo, I think we're kind of iffy at the moment, but I think that can be salvaged.
This is you wasting time again. Are you curious to understand where this goes? You keep calling me incurious, but then every opportunity to just fucking like waste time and just bloviate, you seize and fucking
I think in
devour.
terms of the range of things I'm curious about, it's like the difference between the World Trade Center and like a sandcastle. But in terms of like the particular subject at hand, I gotta be honest with you, I'm not curious at all.
Listen,
not even a little bit.
Honest to God, I'm offering this, from a place of love. I'm trying to tell you that I think you might have something to offer a lot of people, but this spree of going around and arguing with people, I think is, really shooting yourself in the foot, and it doesn't look good for you. I don't know what to say. Like this conversation, I was really ready to hear your thesis.
I'm as stumped as you are. I made a video essay. You're welcome to go check it out right after this on precisely this topic. I tried to lay it out for you.
On how all liberals are actually right wing, and that grifting is anybody who does anything for money or attention.
Bingo.
Bingo bango.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. That might be interesting. When I gave you the floor to explain it,
you wanted to go back to the Rittenhouse thing. Then when I brought the Rittenhouse thing, you want to go back to the other thing.
Well, no, you wouldn't answer any questions.
You're hot and you're cold, dude.
You wouldn't answer questions about the Rittenhouse thing. I want to examine the Rittenhouse thing.
I didn't want to answer
I hope they do. Please.
I was going to bring up. I didn't realize you were going to jump in as soon as I was making
No,
like,
that's not true.
statements.
I asked you a philosophical question. You said, well, who can really even say what's good or bad? I mean, how can I ever take a position on that?
I didn't say that.
You did.
Oh, I actually gave you a very concrete answer. Rights apply in specific contexts when you actually have like a scaffolding to make the rights sort of functional and maintained by actual...
So he's saying rights again, but I think originally... Well, not originally. He was, I think, Wicked was using the words rights and moral. But like, because he was saying like moral right, you have the moral right. But I don't understand how he doesn't have this like, if someone came up to you and had a gun to your head and was going to kill you unless you killed them, do you have the moral right? Is it morally okay? The fuck, someone just... Do you have the moral like right to kill that person to protect your life? And then what is he going to say? Well, I don't think rights exist in this one. It's like, well, wait, so what do you think this person should do? Maybe that's what he should... no, because what he should do... Well, no, what he should do will alleviate what his morals are. Not alleviate. Illuminate what his morals are.
Forceful structures in the world. In the absence of those, like when you're in a de facto state of nature, when there's no police around and it's just chaotic, you do what is in your judgment to protect yourself. Like, for example, on the Rittenhouse thing, at the point where he's running from the people in the crowd, even while they're chasing him, he's perfectly within his rights insofar as that means anything, to fire back at them, because for all he knows, he'll die. And what the hell are you going to tell him? Like, don't know you should die. It's the right thing to do. To what end? Okay. Like, how does that benefit him? Like, you have no persuasive power at that point. However, what you would say in advance of that is that, why the fuck were you there, dude? You're one guy with a gun.
That's a great question. That's an excellent question.
If their target was the parking lot, there is literally nothing that could have happened except you would shoot 1 or 2 or 3 people as it happens, and then you would have been horribly maimed, if not worse. And that's literally it.
Well, that's an excellent question. I'm glad we agree on the fact that his, the shooting that he did was all in self-defense. And he's not morally culpable
well, crucially, though, in the dark, in the crowd, the people chasing him also were acting in self-defense. This is a man with a projectile weapon. For all they know...
Well, no. Okay. He is hitting on something that is interesting. That is... And I don't know how Wicked's about to say. Wicked did just say no initially, but... If that guy was acting, so Rittenhouse acting in self-defense to, like, protect himself, sure. But the people surrounding don't know that. To them, they may have just saw someone just dome someone for no good reason, and now this guy's out there with a gun. So now some of them might think that it's on them to try and stop him, and make sure he doesn't hurt anyone else. I don't think anyone would ever. They might say it's stupid, but I don't think anyone would look at an individual who just saw someone get shot and then try and stop the shooter. I don't think they would, because they believe that person like was bad. So like, say an actual active shooter is shooting someone like in a mall, and then he's like trying to get away or running. We don't know exactly where, and then this guy can stop him, and he thinks that he's gonna like stop him to make sure he gets arrested or like taken so he doesn't like kill anyone else. I don't think we'd look at that person and be like, oh yeah, what you did was morally wrong. I don't know what we'd say about that. I don't think people would be morally upset with him. I don't think I would be morally upset with him. Yeah.
He's been firing at the crowd. There's one man dead already. They don't have the camera view that we do. They just see a man. They just see a dead man in the street. A man running through the crowd with a gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. I think there's a fair argument.
We won't witness testimony of the dead man. We have no idea what he thinks.
Good.
Well, I think there's a fair argument there that there was a bunch of confusion, right? And that's what contributed, the death of.
He shouldn't have put himself into a situation where literally the only thing he could do was introduce
that's
confusion leading to lethal violence.
That's what I'm curious to examine. If you are.
What are we examining?
Mm-hmm. Whether or not it was wrong for him to be there in the first place. Earlier, you mentioned that
it was wrong for him to be there in the first place.
Well, let's examine that, because I think some of the details you may end up agreeing with me on. Actually, something that you claimed was me, like indicative of me being a right winger or something like that. You actually may agree with on a philosophical level. In fact, I predict that's the case. If you want to examine the details,
go
on.
So you said, as part of your scaffolding of a system, a framework for society to operate under, right, and that ethics applies under such a framework. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it basically means that we have to judge actions based on the conditions of the people operating, under those conditions and the actions that they're taking in lieu of those conditions.
Well, I think the more fundamental question is what is the right, because that's really how this comes to bear.
Sure. When I'm asking you if somebody has the right to do something, I'm asking them if you would say that they're morally wrong or ethically wrong or right. Or
sorry, can you start from the beginning and say that again?
Mm-hmm. When I'm asking if somebody has the right, I'm really asking if you're saying that they're morally in the wrong or morally in the right or something like that.
Okay, well that's not what I mean when I say right, and that's not what anyone means when they say right, because it's precisely not.
Oh, when someone say, do they have the moral right? I mean, some people definitely say, like, do they have the right to? Are they morally okay in doing that thing? People definitely do use it that way.
No, because it's precisely not a counter to saying that, for example, I have the right to an abortion.
This is irrelevant. You know what
wrong.
I mean now. We can just press forward, right?
No, because you're talking about
when
something
somebody
that
says,
another concept.
who gives you the right to do this thing? What are they asking?
Wicked. You're talking about something that you're packing in another concept into that. So
wait, is there no
ability to discuss it?
I think this might be the first time I've seen this. Is there no difference to this card at the start of each turn add its smite into your hand? At the start of each turn add its smite into your hand. Why is there no difference to this? Is this fucked? It's not even like add an upgrade smite to your hand. That's so weird. What the fuck? Okay, I should definitely upgrade that card though. It's fucking weird, dude.
Okay, what gives you the right to do this right now?
To do what?
To want to have a meta conversation about rights or the word right.
The absence of any external impediment to my doing so.
So I'm sorry. There is no absence of the external impediment to you doing so. I'm asking you not to do it right now.
That's hardly an impediment.
Listen, if you want to turn off the camera and turn off the stream and talk to yourself about the meaning of the word right in a rigorous way and that it can never...
That'd be a really interesting time.
Okay, yeah, go for it right now. If you want to.
You sure?
Sure.
I mean, you would be proving everybody right about your tendencies to leave these conversations the moment they get challenging.
Not if you tell me to. Not if you tell me to, I'm not.
Not if anybody tells you to do what.
I'm scot-free at that point.
Scot-free to do what?
How long have we been talking?
True.
I'm just so disappointed that you're so afraid to ever examine these things. The moment that these conversations get, the moment you feel like you're getting cornered, you wiggle out.
I don't feel cornered. I feel like I'm in a wide open
If you didn't feel cornered, then
staring
I feel
at a
like
stone.
You'd be much more liable to answer these questions honestly, in a straightforward fashion.
Well, I did.
You won't even allow me to ask the question at this point.
No, we'll ask the question again. Maybe we misunderstood each other.
Sure. So if somebody comes up to your neighbor and threatens to set their house on fire, and they ask you for help, do you think
I'll go out and I'll tell them, hey, dude, don't set their house on fire or I'll call the cops.
Yeah, what if the cops are
Oh, he's pro
indisposed?
cop? Damn.
I guess I'll shoot him.
Wait!
Wow. So you would
In the leg. I would shoot him in the leg. I wouldn't kill him.
show up
Is that what
to
he's gonna
defend
say?
somebody else's property with a gun.
Frankly, I would have the gun already aimed at my window if anybody even approached, just in case.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you would show up to defend somebody else's property
The
and
wall
kill
of
them.
bodies, the wall of bodies that piled up in front of their house would protect them.
Okay. Listen, I knew that we would agree on this. And I guess maybe that makes you a right-winger by your own calculation. You would have to tell me. This was part of your calculation for how I'm a right-winger.
I don't want to.
Are you okay?
I don't want to be mean. Are you sure? Are you sure we agree on that?
Well, it sounds like you would do what Kyle Rittenhouse did.
Is that what Kyle Rittenhouse did in your judgment?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yes, there were protests where the legitimacy of their local police force was in question, and so the police were indisposed. They had, a protest and then ensuing riots going dark into the night to keep an eye on. And as a result of this, a business had half of their assets burned. They made an open call for help, so it seems. And somebody whose family lives there, who worked in that community, he was like staying with his mother, who lived the next town over.
You're a right winger, dude. Just have
Sorry.
the balls to admit it. You're a right winger. You value property and.
So do you though.
You just said you
No, I don't.
You said that you would do this.
I'm joking, dude.
Okay, so if somebody threatened to burn down your neighbor's house, you would just let them?
No, I would stop them from doing so.
By?
If they were able.
What if they said you're gonna have to kill me to stop me?
Well, I don't think them saying you're gonna have to kill me to stop me is necessarily sets the terms.
Okay, great.
Like maybe I can disarm them. I don't know. Like it gets complicated then.
Yeah,
But in
tell
this
me about how you
particular-
disarm them.
Tell me about
Tell
you
me about how
disarmed
you
them.
disarmed
True.
them.
Let's hear you disarmed them.
Well, it depends on what tool they're using.
I use Kung Fu.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They got a
Like,
torch.
if they're using like a match, it's pretty easy. Just like stop them from getting close to the building with the match.
How so?
Probably wrestling with them or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you a wrestler? You tough guy?
No,
Oh my god.
No?
Okay, now he's memeing. Now he's
I
memeing.
mean, I'm okay, but I'm not a wrestler.
I don't like this. This is memeing now.
I do have
don't
a
like
yellow
it.
belt.
You don't strike me as the physical type. You don't strike me as the type that can stop anybody from doing anything. But you can correct me.
I can.
So
And
so
I
you tell me,
will.
you're telling me, oh, I would simply disarm them. You would enable VATS and
Well, you would
strike
you
them
would
in the
you
hand.
would try to. If you weren't able to, you wouldn't. You would be exactly like the people in the house. They would leave the house if somebody was lighting it on fire. You'd probably
you-
take photos of their face. And
Can you
you'd give
think
it to the
of a
police
tool that
afterwards.
somebody might use to like help them equalize a physical confrontation?
A stick.
True.
Pick up a stick and you'd stop somebody from burning your neighbor's house down.
True.
Yeah, or better, if I have a stick
Damn.
that's strapped around.
I-
If I have a stick that's strapped around my body, that'd be really convenient.
I'm so excited for the moment you actually start engaging in this conversation earnestly, but you seem really afraid to find out that you actually agree with the idea that Kyle
Oh,
Rittenhouse.
I'm terrified.
It seems
I
that
am
way. I
quivering.
don't know. If you weren't, it seems like you would just
I'm
answer
so
the question.
terrified. In fact, I'm gonna need to refill my drink. Give me a moment.
I'm
I can't. Yeah, I can't.
amazed.
I can't tell.
I wish I could say that I didn't expect this, but I don't know what to say.
Oh, I'm disappointed too, Rick. I don't know what I was.
Sure,
expecting.
in what? What were you expecting?
You know, you're right. I'm not disappointed.
Sure, tell me.
I'm not disappointed.
The floor is yours.
It is.
It is
So
mine.
far, when I've
Thank
given
you for
the
telling
floor,
me
you've
that.
told me
Fuck, I'm
liberals
fucked.
are liberals and grifters are people who do things for money.
Like, do it,
Grifters
but
are
I
people
can't.
who do things disingenuously for money.
Sure, what do I do disingenuously?
Well, for one thing, you pretend to care about any of the thoughts or ideas that pertain to the situation. But
Which
you clearly
situation?
don't.
I do care. I'm asking you earnestly and you're
questions generally,
refusing
you
to
don't.
answer.
No, you don't.
No.
Why do you say that?
No.
Why do I say that? Because you come here completely unprepared, completely blind as to any of the previous discourse that's taken place on this by the best speakers on the subject, and literally all you have is some backlog of debates you've had with people on the internet. That's the extent of your interest.
When did I
and
ever
your
mention
interest
my
is
debates
there.
with people on the internet?
Your interest is
wait.
there.
When did I ever
your
mention that?
interest is
No.
there.
When did I mention that?
Your interest is there.
When did I mention that?
Your interest is there.
No, you made a
Your
claim that
Your
I did a thing.
interest.
I want you to show me where I did it.
Your interest is there because that's where you make money. Or you
Wait.
hope
When
to.
did I refer to a backlog of debates?
Can't make money then.
No, in the last video, like on the why you're not on the left thing, there was literally no content there except for the Rittenhouse thing that you debated. When we're talking here, like you don't even have.
I don't think I've ever debated Rittenhouse with a person until now.
That's clearly untrue. You debated that with Vivian. I actually watched that last night as well.
Oh, get fucked.
You know,
You're wrong.
I'm not sure I knew.
You're wrong.
It was probably a very boring discussion, so I don't blame you for not remembering.
I'm not sure that I did, because I don't think Vivian came around by the time that I started reading about Rittenhouse, because I was waiting for the trial to read up on it.
It might have been irrelevant. You're all sound the same to me.
Well, okay, so hang on a minute. The claim you just made about me referring to my previous debates is based on a video you didn't watch and a conversation you don't know anything about.
Oof.
Let me double check.
Oof. Okay.
Okay, I came to this unprepared though, right?
That was
Yeah,
good.
you did. Let's see. Wicked
That was good.
Supreme versus Vivian. I think that might have been on ChudLogic, actually. Let's see here. Yeah, MX Vivian Wolf versus Wicked Supreme, the Kyle Rittenhouse case, self-defense in Kenosha, 9 months ago on ChudLogic, 4.2
Yeah,
views.
on ChudLogic stream. Sure, fair enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have debated Rittenhouse before, but when did I ever refer to it?
Oh, and the video I watched last night and just prior to the stream.
Okay.
Yeah, why you're not on the left?
You said you weren't
that's the
prepared.
one
You
debate
came
you
to
had
this.
that actually came in. Yeah.
But you were talking about our conversation here, about how I was unprepared for our conversation here.
No, you're just unprepared for a conversation about.
You're just unprepared in
I
general,
feel
buddy.
prepared, and I
people
want
on
to
the-
examine these things, and you don't seem to want to
Well,
answer questions earnestly,
Facts.
or
Facts don't care about your feelings, my dude.
Got him. Whoa, wait, that's a
I don't know.
right-leaning
Listen,
stance. I
could
don't know
just
why
make
he's
the
saying
same
that.
claim that you seem unprepared. You seem really confident about your ethical framework and the way that you view the world and stuff. But when put to the test, you don't seem to want to answer any questions, or you seem to want to just meme and joke. And listen, I'm used to that. I'm used to like lefties doing that too.
I don't want to
especially.
misrepresent. I don't want to misrepresent an issue to assuage someone who has no actual interest in the issue to the detriment of that issue.
I
no.
do. I have so much interest in the issue because I'm so confident that you and I agree on the underlying principles and on the philosophies.
I don't share
but
that.
yeah, well, if you were confident in that, you would just answer questions earnestly.
Yeah.
Why should I be earnest? What on earth is the stake here?
I mean, the stake is your credibility at this point.
Not particularly.
I mean, you're
just my
demonstrating pretty
credibility.
strongly that when put to the test, your own ideas, when you're coming forward with your own ideologically charged statements about show me a liberal content creator in 2022 and I'll show you a right-wing grifter hedging their bet.
How
When
fast
put
the
to the
smoke
test,
where
you
you
don't
are?
seem to
It's
want to
like a
answer because you
fucking
might find
inferno.
out that our values are the exact same. So if you're confident calling me a right-wing grifter, you might find out if our values align in every, in every situation or in every case that you're a right-wing grifter too, by your own admission. But we don't get there because you seem afraid to answer anything the moment you start feeling cornered.
What's the corner?
The corner is anytime I ask you a question, you start memeing or making jokes.
the
or
moral
you
thing.
start saying, well, but Rittenhouse, the Rittenhouse situation. I'm asking you a series of hypotheticals to
I wasn't
expose your
memeing.
underlying values, and you don't seem to want to answer them.
I did answer them though.
I
Okay.
did.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Now that we know everything we know about Rittenhouse, okay, was Rittenhouse wrong to answer the call of people in a community that was his neighboring community, in a community that he may have been able to claim? He's got family
I should
there,
have taken the
he
fucking
worked
ritual
there, it's
potion.
the next
Fuck me.
town over.
We're drinking
in
this.
the rural Midwest is a 20-30 minute drive away.
Yeah, that's right. He put the lives of people he didn't know and his own in jeopardy. Over
Their
over
lives
the-
were
over
already
a
in
parking lot.
jeopardy.
Who else was shot that night?
I'm not sure. Maybe. I have no idea if anybody else was shot that
So
night.
who's-
I've not
who's-
heard of anybody
so,
else shot that night, but it doesn't
hang
matter.
On, hang on. Their lives were already in jeopardy.
No, the lives and
Expand-
livelihood of
elaborate
people
on that,
in
please.
no, the lives and livelihood of people in Kenosha.
For the lives and livelihood now.
Yes.
So now we're equating the parking lot with the people he shot.
Yes.
Yeah, you're a right winger, dude.
I'm a
What?
wait, but we
How is that
agreed that you
right-winging?
would defend your neighbor's house if somebody wanted to burn it down at the threat of their own death.
If the neighbors were out of the house when it was being burned down, no, I wouldn't kill the guy.
You would just let him burn down the house?
I wouldn't kill
Even
the
if
guy.
they said, "Hey,
I wouldn't kill the guy.
Stop this guy from burning down my house."
I would fight him and hopefully hurt him pretty bad so he couldn't do it, but I wouldn't
Wait.
kill the guy.
Can you just tell me what would be wrong about brandishing a weapon and saying, "Hey, like I'm not gonna. You're gonna have to burn down this house over my dead body.
No. I mean, in the dark, when the weapon itself is precisely.
Can you answer the question?
To approach you.
Can you answer the question? You're not answering the question.
I am answering the question.
You're redesigning the hypothetical so that you can deliver an answer that you think is optically more sound.
Well,
which is something a grifter would do, actually. It's somebody who's dishonest and wasn't confident in their own values.
Ooh, the big grift stance.
I'm sorry, what was the question again? Answer it one more time, or ask that one more time.
Answer
Your
it for
neighbor
me.
says, hey, stop anybody from burning down our house tonight, please.
Yeah.
And you see somebody coming to burn down their house.
Yeah.
What is morally wrong about presenting the threat of lethal force and saying, if you want to continue to burn down this house, you do so at the peril of your own life?
Nothing.
Okay.
Wait! Okay. So he just claimed neighbor, and we won't expand it just yet. And it's a very specific example right now. My neighbor has asked me, hey, can you protect my house from being burned down tonight? Someone comes up, they're going to burn it down. And I say yes, apparently. Apparently he says yes. Someone comes up, and they're going to burn down the house. And then you come out and you say, hey, if you try to burn down that house right now, if you go up and you're going to start burning down that house, I will kill you. I'm telling you right now, don't do it. He's saying that there's nothing morally wrong with you, I guess, threatening lethal force against them. Now, he could argue that threatening lethal force is okay. Now, actually using it is bad. Maybe that's what he'll say.
However,
that's what Rittenhouse did.
If I have like a bare modicum of sense, then I may also recognize that brandishing certain kinds of weapons provokes a certain kind of additional response, and may actually escalate the likelihood of having to kill someone. In fact, maybe even ensuring it.
Okay, so you would just let a person burn down a house because of a fear that it might escalate things if you present lethal force?
No.
You're powerless to stop anybody from doing anything violent.
Well, no. For example, what Rittenhouse is being chased by was somebody without a gun, and yet that motivated him to completely back away from his stance and flee. So clearly he had no intention actually to defend the place. He only fought back when he defended himself.
Yes, so, you're right.
Yes. So, at that juncture, literally the only thing that weapon...
Wait, I don't know what he just said, because he just made the claim that Rittenhouse actually wasn't killing people over property anymore. He was literally protecting himself. He literally killed the person to protect himself. He just said it. He literally just said the thing. So Rittenhouse did not kill over property, is what he just claimed. Jesus.
Did for him was it provoked a lethal encounter not related to the defense of the property. What he should have done if he was actually serious about defending the parking lot was fucking beat the guy over the head with a stick he was holding.
Wait,
and maybe lose.
Did you see like Rosenbaum compared to Rittenhouse?
If I'm a little kid, if I'm just a little guy, and some big buff man comes up to come like take my shit or like break some shit, the best way to defend my property is to hit him with a stick, and maybe I lose. Versus having a gun and being like, hey, I have this thing called the Great Equalizer. Get fucked. I'm going to protect myself with this instead. But the stick is the more effective way of defending property. Okay, buddy.
Yeah, I did actually. I watched the thing live.
So wait, which guy? Which guy should Rittenhouse have just beaten physically?
First one.
Okay, Rosenbaum.
When you're standing guard, you stand guard. He fled.
No, listen. He was out putting out fires, right? He fled. Actually, there was a gunshot behind him. There was more than one person chasing after him, and he didn't even.
So clearly, putting out the fire wasn't that high a priority because he abandoned the fire to save him out.
Wait, so should he have just shot the guy? What is he saying right now? So if the fire was such a big priority, what, he should have just killed him? He should have just shot him instantly? What are you saying?
Save his own ass. Like,
I think he did. I think he put out the fire and then he started returning back.
Oh, great! But he ran.
Okay.
He ran, dude. There's nothing else for it. He ran. Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah. He
so
kept lethal force as a last resort.
If you're asking me, I don't even know what you're asking.
We were examining right now whether or not it was wrong for him to be there in the first place. So I designed this hypothetical about protecting your neighbor's house. And it seems that we agreed on that. It seems that we agreed that, you should be able to say, hey, motherfucker, if you're intent on burning down this house, you do so at the peril of your own life. That's a decision that you have agency in.
Sure. So taking a
and that's
gun,
what Rittenhouse
sure,
did.
so
You're a right-winger. You're a pro-defending property. You're a right-winger.
So taking a gun to... No, I'm pro-defending himself.
So you're not pro-defending property or livelihood or
I'm not,
anything like that?
I
I'm not
pro-killing
pro-killing people to save a few cars, no.
What if somebody... Doesn't the person have agency
Did
in
I
that
lose
themselves if you're presenting...
Hold on. Did I lose a card? Did this thing take over a card? Or is it... Oh, I think it's exhausted, isn't it? Oh, I didn't know that was an exhaust card. I fucked up. Okay. I didn't know that.
the threat and making it clear?
Okay, sorry. Back up.
You're a right-winger. You're a pro-defending property. You're a right-winger.
So taking a gun to... No, I'm pro-defending himself.
So you're not pro-defending property or livelihood or anything like that either?
I'm not pro-killing people to save a few cars, no.
What if somebody... Doesn't the person have agency in that themselves if you're presenting the threat and making it clear? You're saying, hey, if you want to destroy this thing that is another person's home... You do so. You accept that you're doing so at the risk to your own life.
Were there huddled children in the car lot?
No, fuck it. We'll just say that the house is empty.
Then no.
No, a person can just fucking go through with it. There's never any way that you can present any threat to lethal force and say that you are accepting this threat. If I'm making this threat,
you can absolutely present a threat to lethal force, but
you can't enact it.
He didn't even use lethal force to defend the place, or even the presentation to defend the place. He used lethal force to shoot somebody who was chasing him.
So
off
your
of the
position
property.
is stronger than Rittenhouse.
No, he fled. Maybe he fled the building. He fled.
What does that mean about you?
He fled the building and he shot the guy who was pursuing him afterwards to save his own skin. He didn't shoot the guy and take injuries to defend the property. He didn't give a fuck about it. Push came to shove.
His presence there was to defend. Okay, then you have no problem with Rittenhouse being there.
In principle, with him being there, no. I think practically he was courting disaster. I think practically he was courting disaster by bringing a rifle there.
Okay, how about all the people that were out riding at night? Were they not courting disaster?
The people who were riding, probably, yeah.
Okay, so we just give them free reign to just cause disaster?
Oh, I see. So really your objection is to more Rittenhouses. Shoot them all.
No, I would hope that nobody gets shot.
I'm sure you would. You're a right-winger, dude. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, this is your stance.
Okay, what's his stance? Wait. He can bring it back. Maybe he'll be good faith. Maybe he'll actually say his stance. Let's see it. Because if I was him, the stance I'm getting from Wicked Supreme is specifically this. I think there are some cases where you can put up front to someone an action that they're going to do and be like, hey, if you do this action, which could be like destroying my property, I am saying you do so at the behest of like taking your life. I'm going to present lethal force against you if you attempt to like do this thing. And now it's up to you to decide. The agency is on you as an individual to decide whether or not you think your life is worth doing this thing. And I'm giving you the threat. The threat's out there. It's been notified. Now it's there. And there are some things that you can like place that towards, and there's some things you can't. So like, I couldn't go up and say, like, if you cross that sidewalk, you're doing so at the behest of your own life. I'm going to kill you if you do it. That's not okay. But there are some things where you can put that threat forward to someone, and you can then enact it. Because then it's on the other person to make that choice.
Riot in a protest, and this licenses people.
Okay, let's go back. Let's see how
I'm sorry, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, this is your stance. A few people riot in a protest, and this licenses people, specifically white people, to march into a city and start shooting people who are a part of that thing, regardless now of the fact that their presence with the guns escalated into a particular kind of confrontation.
Wait. Their presence with the guns? Their presence with the guns? Hold on. Okay. One more time.
Specifically white people to at the end of the day, this is your stance. A few people riot
a few people riot. Okay. A few people riot too. I can't take this.
Protest, and this licenses people, specifically white people, to march into
this license, specifically white people. I just the fucking
to a city and start shooting people who are a part of that thing, regardless now of the fact that their presence with the guns escalated into a particular kind of confrontation.
Sure.
Sure. You're just accepting that. What else is there to say?
There's a lot. There's a lot to say.
I don't think he should have said sure there. I don't think he should have said sure there. Unless he was coming at him from saying like, unless he was then gonna like make another side thing about like attacking him for something. Like you do it as like a slide remark. I don't think he should have said sure there. It's just gonna rile this other guy up.
Complex topic. That's why I wanted to examine the nuances with you. There's a lot to say. So just want to be clear that your position,
I think you
or the one that you're purporting to hold right now.
I think you put more care into your hair than this issue. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, let's find.
It's so cringe, dude. This is and that I would say that's an ad hom. I'm trying to discredit you because you put more hair. You put more time into your hair than this conversation, my dude. I don't know if you noticed that. That's an ad hom. I don't need more draw cards. Let's get back to this.
Find out. How do you feel about that?
No, let's not. I think it probably.
You don't want to find out. That doesn't surprise me. Do you want to find out? Because it sounds to me like your position extrapolates to if racists came down to burn down Black Wall Street, you would tell Black Wall Street, there's nothing you can do to defend your livelihood. You should just accept the loss.
If racists came down to burn Black
you can't
Wall
kill
Street,
these. You can't kill these racists or escalate things by bringing guns.
Did the protesters come to burn down the buildings?
Some of them may have, yeah.
Some of them may have, indeed.
I mean,
indeed, some of them may have. Indeed,
were they doing that for justice, for social justice?
Did he shoot people only who were putting buildings on fire?
He only shot people that attacked him.
Can you answer one question?
Can you? Did he put?
Can you? Oh, I love it, and I hate it. I love it, and I hate it.
Shoot people only who are putting
No, you're
buildings
answering
on fire?
questions with a question.
It's a very simple question. You should be able to get over this really fast. Did he shoot only
that's
people?
What I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Did he shoot only those people?
The irony's killing me.
Did he shoot only those? Did he shoot only those people who were burning down buildings?
Go on.
Did he shoot only those people who were burning down buildings?
No, he shot people that were providing a threat to his life.
Why were they providing a threat to his life?
You'd have to ask them.
Well, you can't. They're dead. I know you can't ask them. They're dead. You can ask one of them. One of them didn't die.
And they're dead.
Not all of them.
Then why would you ask the question?
Okay. If you think at the end of the day you would have to, so what President is trying to say is like, why do they present an end to his life? It's like saying what he's trying to get at would be if someone like me, if I like would go up to someone and start like beating up on someone, like attacking them and like either making threats against them and all that stuff, and then that person came after me. So I aggressed on them. I aggressed on this person, and then that person comes after me and starts like attacking me and throwing a threat to me, and then I kill them. That I'm in the wrong because I aggressed first because I started that aggression. The issue that he's going to have here is like who technically started the aggression. He might say Rittenhouse did by just having a gun. I think it's a hard stance to go on because I don't think someone just having a gun, he wasn't brandishing the gun, he just had it. Because brandishing, I think you specifically needs to be like you're threatening someone with it. Like having the gun on him and like standing in front of a building and saying, hey, don't fucking torch this building. I don't think that's enough reason to then go and attack someone. Maybe you think that is, but that would be what you have to argue on then.
Indeed.
Wait, what? That is the most fedora thing I've ever heard.
The most fedora thing I've ever heard.
Wait, so you asked a question?
Indeed. You can't. They're dead.
But then why would you ask the question?
Indeed.
This is fucked, dude. This is fucked.
Wait, what? That is the most fedora thing I've ever heard. Wait, so you asked a question that you don't know why you would ask?
This is the most fedora thing I've ever heard, guys.
The irony is killing you.
Bro, are you okay?
Silence got me.
Why would you ask that question? Indeed. Why would I ask that question?
I can't.
Yeah, why would you ask that question?
No, you asked the question.
You don't give a shit. You don't give a shit.
Well, listen.
Hey,
I'm pretty satisfied.
What were they protesting at Kenosha? Do you remember?
Yeah, they were protesting the shooting of Jacob Blake. Do you remember Jacob Blake?
I do.
Sure.
I
tell me
do
about Jacob
actually.
Blake.
I remember
Google
Jacob
it,
Blake
let me make
very
sure.
well.
No. Don't Google it. You wanted to
Put
quiz
your hands in front of your eyes.
I'm
Put your hands in
pulling
front of
you
your
in
eyes.
reverse. I can just tell you.
On
Jacob
August
Blake,
23rd, 2020, Jacob S. Blake, a 29-year-old black man, was shot and seriously
Oh
injured
my
by police
God.
officers.
President Sunday, 9/11/2022. 2 years later is finally finding out what the Kenosha riots were
Oh,
about.
no.
You came in
Shesky
so
shot.
fucking hot
Oh,
about Kenosha. You don't
no.
even
Shesky-
know what the riots
Oh no.
were
Not
about.
good.
Shesky, bitch. Shesky
Why?
shot Blake in the back 4 times and the side 3 times.
You've never called somebody bitch in your
1, 2. Oh, there we go.
You came in
Shesky
so
shot.
fucking hot about
And seriously injured by police officers.
President Sunday, 9/11/2022. 2 years
Shesky
later
shot.
is finally finding out.
I'm pretty sure the Jacob Blake thing, what he's searching right now, I'm pretty sure Jacob Blake was the guy who I remember because I remember it came up when we were in Discord and someone brought it up to us and it was fucking crazy seeing the video. And it was crazy initially seeing that video. I'm pretty sure Jacob Blake was the guy that he originally all we saw was him he was trying to get in his car, a cop was like telling him not to, stopping him, and then he was getting in his car, he said fuck, pretty much not listening to the cop at all. Got into the car and then was shot like 7 times. Pretty sure he didn't die. Pretty sure he was like paralyzed, partially paralyzed. And that's what it was about. And it was like people were fucking losing their mind, rightfully so, because they just saw a cop seemingly shoot an unarmed black man in his car, just leaving his house. So that was fucked. That was fucked. And then it came out supposedly like the police were called because he was like trying to take kids from the mom and stuff like that. And apparently there was like a knife in the car and stuff like that. I don't necessarily care, but he was doing something and he was about to leave with like the kids that he was taking, and he wasn't listening. He was about to like literally from their perspective kidnap these kids. So at least that's my understanding. That's my understanding of what Jacob Blake was about.
Riots were about. You came in so fucking hot about Kenosha. You don't even know what the riots were about.
Shesky, bitch. Shesky shot Blake in the back 4 times and the side 3 times.
You've never called somebody bitch in your life.
What?
Go ahead.
I call people bitch all the time.
No, you've never looked eye to eye with somebody and called them a bitch. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, bitch. Shesky shot Blake in the back 4 times.
It's so cringe. I hate it. Okay, bitch.
The side 3 times after Blake opened the driver's door to his girlfriend's SUV and attempted to reach inside.
You sound like you have PTSD
4
and you're
times on the
afraid I'm going to
side,
give
3
you a
times.
swirly.
Aw.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What?
Sorry.
I was
What?
reading a thing for you.
So an officer shot Blake in the back. Why?
There was.
4 times and in the side 3 times. 7 shots.
Yeah, why?
Because he was reaching into his girlfriend's SUV.
Okay. What else? Can you fill me in on some more information about that?
So fucked here. I'm gonna lose.
Shesky said that he believed he was about to be stabbed since Blake was holding a knife. Earlier during the encounter, Blake had been tasered by 2 officers, but the tasers failed to disable him and he continued towards his vehicle. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so fucked.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the shooting?
Well, I think that in that particular instance, a bunch of people whose only tools are... how do I feel about the shooting?
Why
No.
were they there in the first place?
How
What
am I
was
supposed
Jacob
to
Blake
feel
doing?
about this?
I honestly can't recall.
Sure, look it up.
Here's the problem with this line
No,
of
go ahead and read it.
argumentation, though.
Go ahead and read
I
it.
Here's the
lost.
problem with this line
I
of
know
argumentation.
this. You
though.
don't.
Here's the
lost.
problem. I'm happy for you. So here's the problem with this line of argumentation. It literally only gets you to a disavowing of the legitimacy of the protest as a whole.
I
It means
lost.
that you fundamentally don't care about anyone there. You regard the whole
Damage.
protest as a riot.
Damage.
No, that's not true. I think
I lost.
I think that the population of people at Black Lives Matter protests,
Maybe.
Worldwide even, fuck it. It was a worldwide movement.
That was 21. I could do it.
Was
Block
comprised
damage.
of a lot of variables. It was multivariate group of people.
So picture this. You're in the dark at a protest. You've been told, you've observed in the media that there are like
When it gets dark, it stops being a protest.
What?
When it gets dark, it stops being a protest.
When it gets dark, it stops being a protest.
Yes. Typically, yeah.
Explain.
Sure. So when it gets dark, it tends to get dangerous, and the opportunities start to come out.
You didn't say it tends to get dangerous. You said it stops being a protest. Why does it stop being a protest once it gets dark?
This video is almost over.
Because it becomes like dangerous for everybody, and usually they try to disperse crowds and say that it's no longer a lawful protest. But listen, we don't have to get super hung up on this. The point is,
dude,
you're
a
right winger. You're confusing. You're confusing.
Your response to an assertion that the state is racist and is killing black people to say, well, we can't upset law and order.
That's not my response.
You're a right winger, dude. You're just a bitch about it.
That's not my response at all.
It's
cute that you're using that word.
Just now. That was your response just now. You just said that.
That's your straw man. But no, that's not my response.
It's not. I can actually just parrot your...
Okay, well, listen. If you want to find out my position on Black Lives Matter, you can just fucking ask me instead of making it up for your audience.
You're boring. I'm not interested in you.
That's what I thought. The moment things look grim for you, you just fucking turn tail and run.
I don't feel
you were the most incurious person I've ever heard of.
You really seem to want me to, though. You seem really, really invested in that. You keep coming back to that. But I'm still here.
What? I'm sorry, what?
You really want me to answer the call. But I'm prepared to be here till 1 a.m.
Okay.
I'm prepared to be here till 1 a.m.
Buckle in.
You make a lot of claims about me. I'm telling you, if you're actually curious about me... I haven't said
anything about you. There's nothing to say.
No, sure. You've said a lot. That I'm a right-winger and that I think that that racist policing is okay so long as it's in response to upsetting public order or something like that.
Yes, that's exactly it.
That's exactly
it. You believe that's true for me?
You just said it.
Well, I didn't say it, no. Do you believe that that's true for me?
You just did.
I haven't weighed in on this yet.
Just said it.
Weighed in on what?
I didn't just say what. The thing that I just said you said.
I haven't weighed in on Black Lives Matter and the value of the protest and the reality of systemic racism and, racism and policing and stuff. I haven't weighed in on that at all.
You just said as soon as it gets dark, it's a riot.
I said when it gets dark, it stops being a protest, yes.
Okay, so you can't... When it gets...
Yeah, typically that's true. I don't know if you've ever been to a protest. Have you been to a protest before?
What does the word protest mean?
Just tell me. Just answer the question. Just answer the question. Have you been to a protest?
Of course I have. What does the word protest mean?
Tell me about that protest. Which protest was it?
There was the Occupy Wall Street thing here a little while ago. They've done a few things protesting
you live
the
on Wall
recent
Street?
mines. What?
You live near Wall Street?
No, it's a global movement. There have been Occupy things all over the globe.
Sure. There was an Occupy Wall Street thing.
There's a lot of
in 2022.
There's a lot of indigenous right.
Sir, just answer the question. There was an Occupy Wall Street thing. What, near where you were in Canada or whatever, right?
No, I'm going in chronological order. I was in university at the time.
You said it was here not too
long ago.
Going in
chronological order.
That was in like 2009 or 2000.
Who? It seems so strange. I'm going in chronological order. I don't think I've ever done that. When I mentioned about things that I've done, like I'm trying to think, like if I was talking about, hey, do you go to concerts? Like, yeah, I went to a concert like last week. I wouldn't say like, yeah, I went to a concert when I was 7, when I was 9, I went when I was 18. I like that's so. What do you?
2010 or something, right?
About 11 years. So the
So tell me about the protest.
There's frequent protests.
Tell me about that protest.
A lot of people sitting and camping overnight. In fact.
Shit.
Tell me about some of these
at night.
Just
overnight. Not good. That's not a protest anymore. He was part of a riot.
Just shut up for a second. You're really fucking annoying.
Just tell me about the protest.
I'm telling you about more interesting protests. So right now there's a lot of disputes going on about indigenous land in Canada, of course.
Mm-hmm. Have any of those protests turned violent?
Of course, yeah.
Sure. Tell me about them. So you were at this protest?
I visited briefly.
Okay. And this is a protest movement.
I'm sorry. If you're trying to, if the point you're trying to make is, dude, people get sketchy at night.
Yeah.
Okay. What does that have to do with whether or not it's a protest after dark? Is the definition of a protest that which is comfortable for the police?
No. Sure. Fine. Listen.
Are you?
I don't know what WickedSupreme's going to say here. I think the way that he's probably going to come at it would be somewhere along the lines of like a protest. An actual protest means that the people that are, the actual protestees, the people who are doing the protest, it needs to be in a scenario where they are safe enough to do it, where they are able to get their message across and show, I forget what the word is. I'm trying to think of the word. Pretty much get their message across and like do their protest in peace without big worries of like actions being pursued against them or like being attacked and all that stuff. Also, it needs to be in a good scenario where the people that they are protesting against can also feel safe and not like have bad shit happen to them. So in that manner, it needs to be scheduled out time where they're able to do that, where both parties are able to do that peacefully and with enough supervision and enough enough understanding that nothing bad will happen. And he's saying that after a certain period of time, when it's when it's laid out or when it's dark out, that threshold of okay, bad shit can happen has raised above the point where we can allow a protest. That's what I'm assuming he's coming from. Somewhere along those lines. Maybe I said it weird. That's where I guess he's coming from.
You want to be pedantic about this? There are some there are protest movements that can occur overnight or
that's
something.
That's a really
like
fucking stupid thing.
Oh well, he's not gonna defend it. Okay, so never mind. I thought he would, but okay. So he'll throw it away. He'll throw it away. He'll disband that terminology right now.
You said.
No, I don't think it's stupid at all.
I know you don't think. It's okay.
In fact, you agree with this as well. You were the one talking about how he's out there in the night. Those are your words, with a firearm, right?
With a rifle, yeah.
Yeah, those are your words.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
Why is that was courting a specific kind of engagement where he would have to use it, or
well, hang on a minute.
Have a particular impulse to use it. Yes,
okay.
yes.
You okay?
Listen. Osama bin Slytherin, this is great.
So he's gonna leave. He's gonna leave after he just said, "I'm here. I'll be here till 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm here all day, guys. I'm not leaving. I'm not gonna leave." And now he's just gonna leave. He called him Slytherin. He called him Solomon Slytherin. What a fucking. Ooh. That is true. What Wicked said is, this guy is one of the tippiest, tip fedora guys you'll ever hear. For the most part, at least that's the feeling I get.
I don't know where you want this to go.
Yeah, okay. Sure. What I would like to do is examine our values.
Okay.
I'm perfectly confident to do this. I'm happy to expose and demonstrate what my values are to you through any series of hypotheticals or anything like that. I'm happy to even just tell you what they are. You don't seem so happy to do that. You seem happy to straw man and just evade any questions about your own values, or I don't know, insulting my looks, which I don't know what impact you expect that to have. I think I'm a fucking
funny.
Okay, funny to who? It is funny. Fuck it. You know what? It is funny.
It is funny. It is funny.
I don't know. What do you expect out of this? Does that not sound interesting to you?
It'd be cooler if you were interesting in addition to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad look.
Which isn't a bad look?
Your look isn't a bad look?
The weird Captain Hook thing you got going.
Why am I supposed to feel insulted?
What is happening?
I don't think it's insulting. It's just funny.
Come on. Be honest. Sit up straight.
No.
Oh, sit up straight, guys.
This is so embarrassing. I'm sorry, man. This is so disappointing. So I just want to make it really clear. I'm happy to tell you what my values are. You don't seem happy to learn what they are. You're happy to straw man, and you're happy to evade any questions about your own values.
What's there to know? You think a protest stops being a protest because it turns evening.
Sure. So I think Black Lives... Well, actually, are you curious what I think?
No.
Yeah, you're happy to just straw man. That's fine.
Well,
as long as we have it on record.
Well,
you are. I'm happy to tell you what it is. You don't want. I asked you if you were happy to hear about it, and you said no.
And you said no.
You said
true.
Don't want to hear about.
I mean, I'll still hear about it because
we're
here. But if you're asking me to be honest, no, I'm not happy to. I just don't care.
Okay. You don't want to hear about my positions. You're happy to just assign them to me based on what.
I wish he would. I wish Wiki would say it anyways, though, for the audience.
Cool. All right. It's on tape. Anything else?
I don't know. It's your show.
We're both streaming, right?
This is true. I defer.
This is true. This is true. You have said a true thing. My fucking hair, dude. It is not sand in the hat. There we go. It's a bit better. This is true.
I defer to you, though. This is your show.
I'm pretty satisfied. You've come on here and said, I don't actually care what you think. I'm happy to just tell you what I think.
I really cannot express the extent.
So I'm just looking at some of the chat. The Mick being carried at WickedSupreme, you acted like a dumbass, but keep saying he was the embarrassing one. True.
To which I do not care what you think.
Okay, wait, is anyone else? If you're going to make these strong claims, I'm just happy that we have a record that you're not actually curious about what I actually think.
Take it to the presses. Bring it to the world.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Anything else?
Have a great night.
Have a good day. Good luck.
No. Hang on. Wait. You're not running away yet.
You're not running away. Oh, he had to throw that in there.
Listen, I'm happy to sit here and talk. I asked you if you were curious about my positions. You said no.
Yeah, but we're still going to talk about them. Elaborate. Why
I would love to if I have the opportunity.
You do. I'm giving it to you. So here's a pointed question.
Oh man, hang on. I'm gonna go get some water. It's funny. The moment you realize, oh man, this is gonna look bad for me because everything he's saying is true, and it's gonna look bad if he lets me go
really?
now. Now you're like, wait. Fine. I'll play ball.
I have to go now, don't I? Well, cheerio then.
Yep.
Wait.
All right. What was the over under?
That was fucked, dude. That was fucked. Oh, that was fucked. Oh well. they got nowhere. They talked about almost nothing about the whole idea about him being a thing. At the end of the day, it sounds like, so what I've taken away is that President Sunday apparently doesn't think that there are any liberals right now. Apparently, a liberal is just a right-leaning person. Okay, you're just a conservative. Apparently, if you're a liberal, I don't know. He didn't really try to demonstrate that in any way. That being like any liberal beliefs are all just right-leaning beliefs. He tried saying that apparently the big focus, of course, came down to the Rittenhouse thing, and apparently that's what makes him Wicked Supreme a right-leaning person. And then he said at the very end there, I don't actually want to talk about your beliefs. I don't actually care. You can talk about them because we're on a show right now because I'm milking you for content and I'm being a grifter. Because that's what President Sunday kind of was doing at the end there. I'm not going to answer any of your questions. I'm not going to engage in you in good faith. And I'm going to, well, I don't want to say good faith. Because I think good faith means he would have to actually know. Well, yeah, maybe he actually does think he's that dumb. So yeah, I won't say good faith. I won't engage with you meaningfully, and I won't actually listen to what you're saying and try to understand. Instead, I'll just strawman you. So that was fucked.